I wish things were different. But it weren't us who changed.
Red Dead Redemption is a huge game, and hidden around its huge map are many weird, wonderful, and creepy things. In this video, I'm going to cover 9 creepy secrets that you may have missed in Red Dead Redemption 2. But beware, you'll need nerves of steel and a strong stomach to proceed past this point.
Do as you're goddamn told.
Okay, I'm going to kick off this list with something super creepy. And no, I'm not talking clowns at the bottom of your bed kind of creepy, although that is pretty bloody creepy. No, I'm talking Texas Chainsaw Massacre style body horror here, with a side portion of Silence of the Lambs meets Saw. Oh, and a bit of Frankenstein thrown in for good measure. Head to this spot just west of the Van Horn Trading Post and due south from the R in New Hanover, and you'll come across this dilapidated house. At first glance, it might seem like there's no way inside this house, as all the doors and windows are firmly boarded up. But, as you'll soon find out, there's probably a good reason for that. Activate Arthur's parkour skills and clamber your way onto the front porch via the handily placed cart on the left-hand side, and you'll be able to jump through this open window. But perhaps psych yourself up a little bit first, because things are about to get more than a little twisted. Whew, okay, ready? This is the man-made mutant. There are no real clues as to who's behind the creation of this meaty monstrosity, but as some of the notes you'll find around the room will tell you, this immensa creatura is made up of various animal parts, including a boar, a vulture, and of course, more than a little bit of it is human. That's not the only grotesque thing you'll find in this makeshift laboratory cum torture chamber though. Keep an eye out for a baby alligator with antlers on its head, and this lovely collection of animal bits in formaldehyde. Soupy.
Yeah.
From man-made gore to gore made by the heavens now, as we travel to the northeast region of the map to this location just north of the Roanoke Valley and west of Brandywine Drop. This little shack may look unassuming as you approach it, but things are gonna get a little bit body party once you enter, so maybe cover your mouth and nose with a hanky first.
What the hell?
What the hell indeed, Arthur. Now, this may look like a scene straight out of Dead Space, but this macabre mess of body parts wasn't created by a plasma cutter. Oh no. Have a little root around in amongst all the intestines and giblets, and you'll find the cause of this mangled mess. It's a meteor. Imagine that, you're all sat around the dinner table having a lovely meal when, blammo, a gift from the gods turns your family into people paste. Ha! Talk about bad table manners. Anyway, it's not all bad news, well, not for Arthur at least. You see, this meteor is magic, and as long as you're holding it in your inventory, it'll decrease the effects of exposure to hot environments by 10%. It's a bit past the fact now, but that family there would probably have found that modifier very useful. Ruh-roh, rest in pieces, I guess. There's something pretty weird going on over at Guthrie Farm, and its owners are desperate to keep it all a secret, which I guess is why they're currently shooting their bullets at me.
Shit!
Make sure you've got a bunch of ammo on you and head on over to this point on the map, directly south of the A in New Hanover and just to the west of Emerald Ranch. This is where you'll find Guthrie Farm, which at first glance is a pretty standard little farm. Do a little exploring though, and you'll find a dark, dark secret hidden in one of its buildings.
Why do you have to be on this property right now, huh?
See this row of 3 barns here? Head to the leftmost barn and you'll come across the body of a man who loves animals. And I mean really loves animals. In the bad way. The body of the sheep next to him is decorated with a little bow around its neck, which in most instances would be nice and cute and stuff. but in this instance it's creepy as fook because tied to that bow is a wedding ring. Which means that that man married that sheep and then they both somehow died during the consummation of said marriage. So you can probably have a good guess now as to why the Guthries wanted to keep all of this a secret. Yeah, that's right. They probably didn't have a wedding license to perform weddings on their grounds, effectively making this marriage illegal. Actually, no, wait, it's the animal bonking, isn't it? Yeah. Now, you may have noticed in previous clips in this video that my boy Morgan is wearing quite the fancy headgear, and you may have been wondering to yourself, oh my, how do I get my sweaty little mitts on Arthur Morgan's glorious helmet? Well, it's pretty simple to be honest. Head south from the Meteor house following the west side of the Roanoke Valley River until you reach this point on the map. Then keep your eyes peeled for some odd stonework. It can be hard to spot at first as this here old tomb is built into the ground, but as long as you channel your inner Tony Robinson, you should find it no problem. The tomb itself is shaped like a five-pointed star, with the creepy remains of an ancient Viking warrior laid to rest right in the centre. Resting by his body is the first of three collectibles, a Viking hatchet melee weapon which can be thrown right into people's faces for some ancient Scandinavian-style headshots. The other two collectibles can be found in a covered portion of the tomb, although it's pretty dark in there, so you may want to wait until your eyes adjust before you attempt to schnaffle them. The first thing you'll find placed next to a row of skulls on a shelf is the Viking Helmet, a special piece of Viking bling that must be worn immediately for fashion purposes. Finally, respectfully search the neighbouring shelf by shooting away the skulls to reveal this, an ornate Viking comb. Now, as this is an ancient artefact, you can sell it to a fence, donate it to the camp, or potentially use it in crafting. All good options, sure, but as I'm feeling a little bit Indiana Jones right now, I'd suggest it belongs in a museum. Rockstar love to take inspiration from real-life events for a lot of their games, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is no different. This next creepy secret is being guarded by the remains of a UFO death cult, similar to the tragic Heaven's Gate cultists who participated in a mass suicide in 1997. Trot along to Hanny's Bethel, a small shack to the northeast of the Heartland Overflow and positioned just above the gap between the N and the O in New Hanover, and you'll discover quite the morbid sight. Rows upon rows of tattered beds, each one the final resting place of some poor unfortunate. Ignore those lot for now though, and make your way to the table at the back of the shack where the remains of the cult leader sit, and look out for a note placed under his left hand. This note is actually a sermon, and it explains that the cult are waiting for their saviour, Kukawaba, to arrive and take their spirits to the promised realm. There they will wait in peace and prosperity until their return in the 2000th year, and all this is due to kick off during the second hour under the half moon. So what happens if you return to this shack at 2 AM when a half moon is lighting up the night sky? Well, I can tell you because I did just that. Enter the shack at 2 AM and it will instantly be bathed in an otherworldly green glow. A green glow that can be explained by only one thing. Aliens! And lo and behold, if you go out to check, you'll get a quick glimpse of the alien craft shooting off into the skies, hopefully with the souls of the Kukawaba worshippers in tow. I wonder if these are the same aliens that feature in GTA 5's Mount Chiliad mystery. That is set somewhere around the 2000th year after all. At this point in the proceedings, it's probably wise to go for some refreshments. What with being confronted by such shocking scenes and all. But whatever you do, don't tuck into some witch's broth like old Arthur here is about to do. This creepy witch's hut is hidden away up in the top edge of the map, just on the northwestern tip of the N in the name Amberino. It's tucked away in a little grove of trees, so it can be tricky to spot as it's well camouflaged, but it's worth tracking it down if you're in need of a few tonics. The ground inside the hut is littered with animal remains, potions, and lit candles, so it's clear that a ritual has just been performed. There's no sign of the witches though, just a bubbling cauldron at the back of the shack with some strange murky liquid in it that definitely, under no circumstances, looks like it should be put inside your body. But look, I'm here doing these things so you don't have to. So here we go, for science! Oh, Paul? Oh, so it turns out if you drink the creepy liquid, you'll instantly pass out and wake up a few meters away from the shack. What happens to you while you're out cold is anyone's guess, but as far as I can tell, there are no negative effects to downing the witch's brew. You just get to have a lovely little nap. And I, for one, am always up for a nice nap. So, thanks, witches. Maybe you're not so creepy after all. Oh, bloody hell, it's a bit chilly up here on Mount Shan. You could cut glass with my nipples right now. Still, the view's pretty stunning though. But anyway, we're not here to take in Red Dead Redemption 2's magnificent panoramas. We're here on the search for creepy stuff, and there's something hidden on the mountainside just here, right near the uppermost peaks of Mount Shan. Make your way up to this point, hopefully without skidding all the way down on your ass like I did first time, and you'll discover the bones of a real-life giant. Except, I guess it's real dead right now. Either way, it's a creepy sight to be sure, but if you're a good animal hunter, this might not be the last time you have a brush with giants in the game. If you study at least 30 animal species and then follow a strange flock of birds near the Wapiti Indian Reservation, there's a chance you'll get to have a conversation with an actual living giant. Although I haven't done that bit yet because I'm a little bit too scared. Look, I'm sorry about this, but if your nerves were rattled from that last point, just wait until you hear about the ghost of Agnes Dowd, because she's super creepy. Agnes appears around this location near the B and the L of Blue Water Marsh at some time between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. You'll know she's close because things will suddenly get very foggy indeed, and then, from out of nowhere, you'll hear her voice, calling out for a long-lost loved one.
I miss you. I miss you so much. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting.
Oh, chilling. Unfortunately, I never got to spot her, but there is footage of her ghost on other YouTube channels, so you may need to set up camp and wait around for her to appear if you want to catch sight of the apparition. Just watch your footing when you're stumbling around in the swamps though. Agnes isn't the only scary thing out there. I've saved this final creepy secret until last because 1, it's pretty extensive, and 2, it's super grim. You see, these assorted body parts are about to lead us onto the trail of a twisted serial killer. The first location you'll want to head to is this dusty track just south of Wallace Station and west of the Dakota River. Keep your eyes peeled as you canter along, and you'll spot a pool of blood and a single solitary leg poking out of the grass. Follow this trail of blood, and after a short distance, you'll arrive at a set of rocks that's strewn with body parts. Yes, I see that dismembered corpse with all the innie bits hanging out, thank you very much. That's not all though, because just to the left of that rock is a smaller one with a decapitated head atop it, and that head has a clue shoved firmly into its mouth.
Can't imagine this is here by accident.
This is only the first part of a clue which will lead us to the location of the serial killer though. The second piece of the puzzle can be found here, smack bang in between Citadel Rock and Caster's Ridge. Once again, you'll be confronted by some artwork that would make Gunther von Hagens want to vom, but it's worth pushing on because you'll find the second clue in another body-free head, this time attached to part of a train bridge.
Through the eye, too. Ooh. Poor bastard.
The final clue to the killer can be found at the southern tip of the map, just south of Bolger Blade and very close to the final S in Scarlet Meadows. Again, the clue is in the mouth of a dead head, so pluck that out and you'll be well on your way to finding the killer.
Making a point with you.
Now, I won't spoil too much of what happens next, but you'll be able to follow these clues to the basement of Lucky's cabin, where, amongst a bunch of morbid souvenirs, you'll find the murderer's kill room, where he assembles his sick works of art. Oh, that's grim. Now, go track down that killer, cow friends. And I'm afraid that's about as much creepiness as I can handle right now, so I'm off to have a shower and to sit in a bright room for a bit. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 is massive and I've only had a small amount of time to explore the world. So if you've spotted something as creepy as the secrets I covered in this video, do tell us about them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, do subscribe for more Red Dead videos coming soon, and make sure you give that bell button a little tickle on the end so you get notified whenever we upload a new video or go live with a gameplay stream. Farewell friends, and come back soon, you hear?